redxparasite, I'm back, and we're doing more Link to the Past. Finally going to finish up this stupid dungeon. Now I'm back in this room that I was in before, or actually didn't go in before, but it gets complicated, because I've actually been in the room, but in the video I haven't been in the room, so it just sort of gets confusing with that. But here's me trying to kill the red thing again. Just sort of duking out, and then bam, it's dead. Give me heart. Why did you give me arrows? I don't need arrows. I'd be more fun with running out of arrows than I would be running out of health. So now Link gets to go to the gym, doing some exercise on conveyor belts. So we finally get the map. You can see actually that there's a shortcut right there where those hammer thingies lead to in death. Yes, the shortcut leads to death. So don't take it. Even though I didn't have the hammer and couldn't possibly take that shortcut, I somehow took it. Death. Oh gosh. I should start running up a death counter. I don't know if I was... I shouldn't do that. It would be way too painful. Way too painful. So, I believe... There we go. I'm getting out the bombs, because there are two bomb walls, one to the left and the right. What do you reveal wall on the right side? Leads me to a fairy spring, which is actually quite convenient. Even though my other two bottles are currently full. So, I'm assuming by now, since you've seen me die and been resurrected by a fairy, that's what they do. If you die, lose all your hearts, they will resurrect you. But fairies in this game will only recover, I think, it's 8 hearts. So, it's actually better to get red or blue potion if you actually need to heal yourself, especially when you get more. So, skipping back to me here, so this is when I actually realized what you were supposed to do. I took a little break from the recording just so I could figure out what the heck I was supposed to be doing, and it's falling down here. So, I actually was down here before. You can recognize the area from a previous video. I was like, oh, I have a key, so I can get this. And I wonder what's up here in this treasure chest. It's probably something that's not useful at all. Oh, look, it's a big key. It's very useful. Like, it could get me an item, get me through certain doors that I couldn't get through before. I mean, number of things. So here's another key. I swear, this dungeon is loaded with, like, a whole bunch of keys. And the sad thing is, you don't even need to get all of them. I mean, you can skip at least one key, of my knowledge. And by the way, you can move that statue. Which I did not realize before, but then I sort of figured it out as I was going along. It's like, oh, you can move these statues. That's useful. Heaven forbid something in this dungeon being useful at all. So we're back over here, and now that we have the big key, I can actually get the item from the treasure chest. So, just have to get across this area again. I've seen way too much of this area. Although, I seem to actually be getting slightly better at dodging the things. I guess you could say that's a good thing. Because it means less pain and less editing as well. Another thing, actually, that I forgot to mention is that most of these videos up until this point, I think up until episodes 14 and 15, which this is, have been completely uncut, which means I've just been recording them. I mean, obviously I've been using save states, but I've been, for the most part, not editing them at all, just sort of putting in the commentary along with the video. I sort of felt, though, once I had like an hour's worth of footage for this dungeon, that it was not worth watching all of it or recording audio for all of it, just because there was so much not to talk about, or I guess you could say it's more entertaining to watch because there's so much failure, but I felt that editing, at least in this situation, was necessary. At least, if not for better quality of video, then for my sanity. So now that I got the hammer back there, I sort of edited out going through the maze again. But I got the hammer, which means I can now smash those, whatever they're supposed to be called. So I can actually get places now. And that would actually not be a place that I'd be going because I would have died, just like then. You can't teach an old dog new tricks, apparently, because I'm a very old dog. See? I could be defining insanity right now. Because, oh, look, it took me that long to realize that, oh, I could just go over here and kill them from over here and not have to worry about, like, one killing me right as I stepped down or jumped down there. Of course, the red one I can't kill unless I knock it off the edge, but much more effective strategy than getting hit by the bumper, dying, you know, so that I point that out. And of course, the red ones do twice as much damage, so you can imagine death. That it could get quite annoying, because this area. Out of all of the things that I hate about this game, I'm not saying I hate the game, which is completely a false statement, because actually I'm enjoying this very much. But one of the things I hate the most about this game is the, I don't know, it's like the probability counter that determines when you'll get hearts, and this area of the game are probably some of the main things that I hate about it. Just because, I don't know what their intentions were when they designed this area. It's just so much more annoying than it should be. Especially when the game isn't giving you hearts. So, really, what's happening right now is a combination of two of the things that I really dislike about this game. So, yeah, you can see why this sort of got annoying. Sort of. Picking up, no hearts, nothing, not giving me any chance at all, are you? Push the statue on the switch, so we can open the door and finish the dungeon and cause an effect. I make stuff happen. By killing those enemies, for example. To me, it looks sort of like mice. That's just me. Although, why any mice would be green or red is a little more understandable. But if you had a green mouse, either you've been doing genetic experiments on it, or it's, I guess you could say it's been irradiated. But what did you do to that mouse to make it green? And to my dismay, I discovered that the use of pots, or in this case, skulls, because this is the Dark World, will not kill them like it does with most enemies. It makes me sad. So I'm playing a little game of cat and mouse with this mouse. I guess that makes me the cat. So, we all know how that was going to end just because I'm the cat, he's the mouse, so you know how this goes, unless you, for some reason, have a dog. That's okay. I mean, I'm a cat person. I mean, I have 2 cats, I like cats, but I don't have any problems with dogs. Well, maybe a few problems with dogs, but let's just keep going into the dark area of the dungeon. So you can already see that I realized, oh, wrong switch. But the turtles that you just saw, you basically flip them upside down by hitting somewhere nearby with a hammer and then stabbing them with your sword. I mean, how else would you kill enemies? The one really annoying thing about this part is that enemy right there. I thought I'm low on health, I want to try to find some hearts, and so I thought I'll go back into this room, and then when I come back out, it'll be... Oh, well, it's exactly where it was before. The annoying thing was that since I was still in the doorway, I couldn't swing my sword. Well, I could swing my sword, but I couldn't use my hammer for some reason. I don't know if there wasn't, like, enough space or something, but I'm pressing the Y button, and nothing's happening. So I realized, essentially, that the only way to get through there is to take a hit, which was annoying enough since I only had 2 hearts left, and then I go into this area, and I only have 1. This is probably the second most annoying area in this dungeon, at least as far as this playthrough was concerned, just because 1, it's dark, 2, I have 1 heart, 3, I have 1 heart, and 4, there are a lot of enemies. So, I know I mentioned having 1 heart twice, but I figured it was worth mentioning. See, it's easier to defeat them when you have light. Also, when you have a hammer. Or should I say, a hammer. They take 2 hits to kill with the Master Sword. So, actually, I edited out a lot of deaths here, so... I don't feel like going back and counting, but it was a significant amount of time. I mean, it took me a little while to just realize, oh, well, I have fairies, why don't I just die and then have more health? So I ended up doing that, and it ended up working, but to my dismay, I have 1 less fairy. And of course, I need fairies. Is it this block? Is it that block? Pause. Sorry about the stop, folks. Somebody came in on me while I was recording, so apologize for that, but I'm gonna try to finish this up while I still can. Person's out trimming right now, so aside from me dying, we can just get past the whole entire... We're progressing in the dungeon, so... I died again, and then I came back to life. Haha. I have the power of regeneration. Either that or linked to some kind of demon. Let's see. Either that or he's a vampire. Oh no, not a vampire. Please say he's not a vampire, especially the sparkly ones. Link, if Link was a vampire, then why would he need to like use a sword or anything? Not saying Link is a vampire, but yeah, in the event that he happens to, I don't know, get bitten by one, that would make for an interesting Zelda game. And then instead of having like a heart meter, you'd have to have this like blood meter, where you'd have to like drink blood from stuff. Like you'd have to kill enemies and like drink blood from their corpses. This is a very inappropriate game. I mean, I'm not saying it exists, but that would be a little disturbing, actually. Probably take a little away from what people would usually think of as a Zelda game. Just saying. So now we're finally going to head into the boss chamber. So basically the whole entire point of this boss, as you can see, there's a mask there, and I edited out a fair amount of me failing at this boss fight. But you basically hit the mask with a hammer, and then you crack it, kind of like that. Obviously, from the weird point that I decided to start this clip, he had already like 2 cracks on his mask, so basically he starts out with a completely flawless mask. but I think there are flaws in it. But you basically hit it, and then it'll crack once. Hit it more, and then it'll crack twice, and then the third time it comes off. And then, of course, if you couldn't tell from the very giant green whatever that's supposed to be on his head, you hit that to kill him, and you just saw me killing him in essentially one round. Took a little while to do, but I was sort of amazed once I did it, just because, well, I killed him in like essentially one hit. I mean, it was technically like 4 or 5 or whatever it ended up being, but I would consider that pretty impressive, which just seems to add to my completely bipolar playing of this game. Like, I can either be like really ridiculously good, like at that point when I killed it, or I can die a lot and fail a lot. So this is the first maiden of 7, which includes Zelda. And so she's talking to me, she's saying, oh, Ganon invaded the Sacred Realm and now he's turned it into the Dark World because he's Ganon and he's evil. Like, she said that is because it's of the evil in his heart. To which I would raise the question, Ganon has a heart? I mean, I'm just... I didn't think that Ganon had a heart, that was just me. I mean, Link has 9. I mean, how many freaking hearts do you need? But that is the end of the dungeon, so I will see you next time when we continue better things.